It's also cold and very rainy, and is expected. NIMET has actually warned of flash floods, so we need to be very careful in certain access across the country, and keep yourself warm. Try and see if you can relocate to other regions or other locations that is on the high plain, so that your family is not affected in the communities and states that are at high risk of experiencing the flood. On the evening rush, we get to talk about issues bedeviling Nigeria's social, economic, and political landscape. We also get to look intricately, or rather, we get to look in-depthly into how some of the quagmires Nigeria is currently facing is going to be resolved through the recommendation and analysis of some of our guests who either join us virtually or sometimes physically in the studio, and will provide in-depth analysis of this issue, so you're able to make an informed opinion, or rather an informed perspective on the conversation we're going to have. Well, in some states, local government elections will be holding up this Saturday, which is July 12. All the political parties duly registered, that has met most of the requirement with the Independent National Electoral Commission will definitely be participating. But there are complaints of disenfranchisement in some areas, specifically in Lagos, where some political parties are not allowed to carry on with their campaign. Talks are that the fact that what transpired in 2023 will not be the same thing that will replicate itself. The Labour Party went to one of the communities in Lagos State, as reported by Sahara reporters, and they were denied to campaign in that locality. The bailiff of that particular access told them to leave, that it's an APC community and it's an APC state. Those who went there to actually campaign said that they were pushed and hurt with stones and a couple of clubs for coming there to campaign. And it seems like the perception about what the Labour Party comprises is being misconstrued as being basically more occupied by a certain geographical location. There are also complaints about certain persons not yet activating themselves to participate properly, but INEC and RSEC, that is a State Resident Electoral Commission, is encouraging local government participation, asking members, residents in their localities that these elections will be taking place on July 12th to participate in this election. So the big question is, has our political atmosphere become so volatile and tense that adequate participation in politics is now being discouraged by certain persons just because they're afraid of competition? Is the government of the day not supposed to embrace, optimism and cooperation and participation amongst everyone, regardless of their political affiliations, their ethnic preferences, or possibly religious preferences? These and more are some of the issues we'll be discussing on the evening rush today. And also, Asari Dokubo is calling the Yorubas traitors. I wonder why that is happening. Says he doesn't trust Tinubu. He's not going to vote President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027, that he has been betrayed. He is going to be supporting the North. The big question that everyone is asking is, excuse me, Mr. Asari Dokubo, who cares? Well, joining me on the program virtually today is Mr. Great Imo Jonathan. He is a media and public relations consultant. He was the head of marketing in Position International Arts Magazine, an international arts review journal that is distributed throughout West Africa and the UK in partnership with the British Council. Former manager of Nollywood actor Emeka Ike, first weekend curator of Terra Culture Lagos, former program officer of Lagos Book and Art Festival under the Committee for Relevant Art, Kora. He was also the former media aide to APC gubernatorial candidate in Abia State, Dr. Uche Oga, who later became a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He is the DG of Advocacy for Human Rights and Anti-Corruption Initiative, a social commentator, author, and has appeared on various radio and television stations in the last 20 years. According to Mr. Great Imo, he believes that Nigeria needs a breed of leaders without greed. Mr. Great Imo, good evening, and thank you for joining us today on the Evening Rush. How are you, sir?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you for having us on your platform this evening.
Thank you so much.
I want to greet you all as well.
All right, Mr. Great. I would tell you it's quite a compelling season. Can you put on your camera? Because we're also doing this audio visual. We're streaming on YouTube. We'd like to see your face. Mr. Great Imo, in a very recent
Unfortunately, where I am now is that because I thought it was a radio program.
Yeah, I sent you a Google Mail and I sent you, I collected your picture, created a flyer. So we can't see you. Is that what you're saying?
As soon as the electricity comes from where I am now, I've been sitting here waiting with the
Mr. Great, you're in the capital city and you don't have electricity. Wow.
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 Not just in the capital city, in the main city of Abuja,
Main
one of the
city.
most prominent states
Ah, ah,
called the Game State. So it does happen sometimes 2 days.
ah, ah. Mr. Great. You are not using it. Really? So Lagos is better than you people.
Well, I cannot say because I'm here in Abuja. Sometimes we used to experience unstable electricity, and then even before a designation to different banks, we had we were already hooked onto a special line. Our meters changed, and we were paying a special fee for being on those special bank. Then eventually, when the new policy came, we were also put on bank fee.
Hmm.
But here we are. We pay much, but not every time we have it.
All right, Mr. Great. Let's kick off. At some point in the conversation, if the audio is not clear enough, I would have to call you directly because I really need to hear everything you had to say based on the conversations we're going to have. Mr. Great.
Very much.
Yes.
It appears sometimes I'm getting a clapback, audio clapback here.
Oh,
Don't know what
really?
the problem is.
Okay, maybe are you on speaker? Did you put your phone on speaker so you can hear me? Just put it like you're doing a normal call with me. I can hear
Yeah,
you very well.
very much. Very much.
Okay, so Mr. Great, let's look at our current political situation. Would you consider our political atmosphere volatile? I mean, possibly because of certain persons who are participating in our politics. The reason why we're going into the political front first is because I think you wrote a book recently about the obedient culture, where you said, what is it about Peter Obi and his personality and his followers that is the obedient movement, and why you think that they're almost like a new dynamic into Nigeria's political fabric. So, for example, the administration says that they have been able to accomplish a lot in 2 years, and they have actually asked for Nigerians to be patient. It's not easy considering what they inherited from the previous administration. The IMF recently said that the policy reforms of the administration is very encouraging. In fact, they said what the president did with the flotation of the naira, the removal of subsidy, is actually very good, but that the gains from the subsidy removal is not being felt at the grassroots, and it's too slow. It's taking so much time for the people to feel it. So poverty still lingers. There's food insecurity, which is the basics for the productive economy, and the president has clapped back. That is, the presidency has clapped back by saying that the IMF should please give Nigeria a breather, that we are just 2 years in the president's administration, so they should not let it not seem like it's a personal thing against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that the international monetary community or the monetary fund is attacking his person. They should give his administration time, and that the policy reform was just recently signed in. It has not yet been active. It has not become a functional reform, which obviously will take some time before those at the grassroots would feel. How would you react to this within our political climate?
Well, thank you. I read what my very good friend Tokpe Fasua, who is
Yes. Yeah.
one of the economic advisors to Mr. President, said. I know him very well. We have appeared on various programs together, especially when he was still an independent person, and his opinion about Nigeria was more fair than it is today, but it's understandable because he's working for a government. But going forward, I want to say that the IMF, the article actually published by the IMF, is nothing but the truth. Because standing here or sitting here, you and I know that as much as all the candidates in 2023 about the removal of subsidy and the necessity to do it, the popular opinion was that the subsidy was benefiting the elite of Nigeria, especially those who were in importation of PMS and the rest of them, and that the money needed to be plowed back into the system to help grow the economy. But what has happened is that Nigerians, you remember when the subsidy was removed, there was literally no protest, no complaint, because everybody actually wanted to give the government a benefit of the doubt. But I will tell you today that those who remove subsidy are living opulence, while many Nigerians are going home hungry. Over 50 million Nigerians or thereabout have been plunged into poverty because what was derived from the removal of subsidy was not plowed back into the economy, to the productive sector of the economy. In America today, many things are subsidized in order to grow the economy. Even in China today, the China economic miracle is driven by subsidy. What kind of subsidy is it? China subsidizes industrial productivity. America, for example, subsidizes agriculture and to an extent education. But in the case of Nigeria, we remove subsidy, impoverish more Nigerians, increase the tax at the same time, floated the currency, literally rebasing the economy, and we had a large amount of volume of cash coming into government coffers. Then those in government turn around, start buying private jets, escalates, and then we hear of so much humongous amount of money being spent on frivolities, 39 billion being spent on an event center that will never bring back profits in the next 10 years. Why Nigerians are going home hungry? Why the productive sector is going down, industries are going down? That tells you that the problem is not just with the removal of subsidy. It talks about what the government prioritizes. Today, we can see what is happening in Ghana. I don't want to use some other countries like Burkina Faso. I want to use Ghana because it's a democracy, it's an English-speaking country. They are our brothers who also are multi-ethnic, literally multi-religious, and a democracy like ours, and also here in West Africa. John Mahama was sworn in 2 months back. Today, go and check the performance of their economy. Their currency is being far better than the dollar. From 18 Ghana cedis to $1, today it's about 10 or 11. That's to tell you how much of value that the Ghanaians have added to themselves through economic policy reform. The ones we have here keep making excuses, and there appears to be no off-ramp, and that is the biggest challenge. As we stand right now, we don't even know what to do next. The confusion is evident. They are just about propaganda. Why many more Nigerians are plunging into poverty and below poverty? So this is the problem.
All right, Mr. Gretimo, thank you so much for that response. Now, we know that a couple of persons 2 years ago, specifically some stalwarts, some bigwigs in Nigeria's polity, and some persons that had been given contracts by the previous administration who came out and declared support for the president and his administration. I'm speaking of Asari Dokubo. So 2 years ago, Asari Dokubo went to the White House, organized a press conference in the White House where he declared his total and absolute support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He said the president will revamp the nation. He said the president will know what to do concerning insecurity, food security, social welfare, and whatnot. He also made some statements that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at some point during the administration of Obasanjo saved him, otherwise he wouldn't have been alive, and that he had some contracts with the previous administration in the southeast by helping the Nigerian military with their boys to possibly curb the onslaught, according to him, of ASN and IPOP in the southeast. That's what Asari Dokubo said. So his boys, in collaboration with the federal government through a contract, did what they were doing in the southeast. I don't know if that contract is still ongoing. But very recently, the Niger Delta militant and leader of the defunct Niger Delta People's Volunteer Force, Mujahid Asari Dokubo, has declared that he will no longer support Yoruba politicians because they have betrayed him and the Ijaw people. In a video which obviously he shared on his social media platform, Dokubo is insisting that he is now politically aligned with politicians from northern Nigeria because they are not traitors like Yoruba counterparts. So the big question is, why are you bringing ethnicity to this? Is it because your contract was not renewed with the Tinubu administration, like you had claimed Buhari gave you a contract? Is that why? Because Tinubu did not pay attention to you, and then all of a sudden the entire Yoruba race is a traitor? How would you react to this, sir?
Well, the Kubu Asari is one of the funny characters we have in this society, and one of the problems that we have inherited in our democracy, and that the rulers of Nigeria, they have been unwilling to deal with the issue for such characters, non-state actors who have assumed larger than life personality, and that is a dangerous one for the country. We know that there was a time he and some other Niger Delta activists said they were fighting for resource control for the Niger Delta people, which was the laudable one, and a lot of people after the Niger Delta supported them because over the years Nigeria has been mining oil in the Niger Delta, and there has not been commensurate benefit for the people of the Niger Delta. They have had, environmental degradation, economic stagnation, and all of those things, no infrastructure. So when that struggle, which started way back with the likes of King Tarua, late King Tarua, and all that, when the youths of Niger Delta, which when Dokubo was still a younger person, when they all got involved, a lot of Nigerians supported the struggle.
Okay.
And eventually the struggle took a violent dimension. And by the time late President Ayodele to want to settle it, being an intellectual he tried to apply wisdom by listening to them and offering amnesty to those who were considered enemies of the society. And the reason for that program was what?
Mr. Greatimo, I think I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you through an alternative means because I don't know, the network is not cooperating because I need to hear you absolutely clear. So
okay.
I'm going to call you right about now so we can continue the conversation appropriately. If you're just currently listening to the Evening Rush, you can get out of this forum so that I can call you here and we can have a plausible conversation. We need to hear you cleanly, smoothly on your responses to some of the issues that we're discussing today. Mr. Great Imo, can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah. Very much. I'm hearing you clearly.
Very good. Thank you so much. So we're going to have to superimpose your voice with your picture for some of you watching us live on YouTube. Mr. Great, thank you for what the in-depth background info on what you've been able to provide for us. But the main issue here is this man, Asari Dokubo, made quite an allegation. He literally conceptualized politics into a tribal prism. It's not about the competence of the person. If a particular tribe aligns with you, you're able to benefit from that tribe, then you show your support to that tribe. Right now, he's sounding like somebody who is aggrieved. So there's some, and it's unfortunate because it feels like this is how Nigeria's political landscape always is. My tribe's person, that's the person I'm going to give my attention and support to, and what I'm able to benefit from this person. Not about what this person can do for the country, not about the structure this person can put in place, not about how this person can make life better for the generality of Nigerians. According to him, that is Asari Dokubo, this is what he's saying. He's alleging that the Southwest has betrayed him or has betrayed the Ijaw nation and that they are betrayers, so he's going to align himself with the North. How does your statement helps to elaborate or gives us an insight into how Nigerians are trying to cope with this current dispensation economically and otherwise. That's one. Two, are you speaking from an angle of selfishness? That is from your own perspective because you haven't gotten any direct benefit, or you're generally just using the guise of your people to put your voice out there. I need to understand what these are elders.
Well,
These are supposed elders. So what does this mean? Mr. Great, go ahead.
yeah. Particularly, I must say, of the Niger Delta region, because Niger Delta encompasses both part of southeast and southwest.
Okay.
And coincidentally, it may interest you to know that I work with a presidential amnesty vendor,
Okay.
and I trained some of those ex-militants during the rehabilitation era. And I also was privileged to even visit Dokubo Asari's so-called school in domicile in Benin Republic at that time. I don't know if it's still functional. He called it a university. He was given some humongous contract
Yes.
for the rehabilitation of some of the warlords, the young people who were involved in this armed struggle that needed rehabilitation and reintegration. And thereafter, I also wrote an article where I factored in how over 400 and something billion was used in this venture, but we didn't get maximum benefit because some of those training that were done offshore could have been done in Nigeria, for example, undersea wedding and all of those things. We are even factored in how Ajokuta could have been used because there is a meteorological institute there. There is one in Onitsha. We have innocent vehicle. We have a lot of training centers in Nigeria that could have been incorporated into those training. But a lot of people prefer to go abroad because it was so fanciful to go out there. And a lot of them came back, were not properly incorporated, were not actually empowered. And I can tell you some of the thousands that Dokubo Asari got money for their training, I don't think many of them today are reintegrated. They are still out there, which is why there's still not much peace, and there's still this, environmental degradation through illegal refining going on. Dokubo Asari have appropriated the struggle. He's one of the few people that have appropriated the struggle of the Niger Delta and personalize it. Whenever there is no personal benefit, they want to hinge on the ethnic interest and now pursue that personal benefit, which is wrong. And I don't see anything tribal in looking for a competent leader. And if all I can, when Dokubo started making that noise was when the pipeline security contract was given to Tompolo. I think it was a bit sidelined. And then thereafter, when Fubara came, and Fubara felt very comfortable with him and gave him some chieftaincy or whatever, recognized him as a king. And maybe at that time, Fubara was having this struggle with Wike.
Yeah.
He made a lot of noise. Dokubo is not a consistent character. So I will want Nigerians to be careful, but unfortunately, the federal government of Nigeria have given characters like this so much privilege that they have become a law unto themselves. Look at him coming to boast that the Nigerian army couldn't secure the Imo State. He was the one doing it. Unfortunately, the governor of Imo State failed in his duty and ability to coordinate with the federal government and created a lot of crisis for himself and his state, and that they have to bring in such characters. They didn't need that. There are so many other states doing very well where there have been challenges like this. They didn't need non-state actors like Dokubo Asari, who have now become Lord unto themselves and are now appropriating the struggle of an entire region to personalize it and to make use of it as a tool for their struggle for personal benefit. I don't take him seriously. I don't want him to. The Niger Delta people, the Jaw people should be careful. For such ethnic baiting is a dangerous omen for them.
Exactly.
Putting the Jaws against the Yoruba because of Dokubo's interest is a dangerous one, even against Igbos or any other part of the country. We should jettison such character, such behavior, because we must also continue to build towards the unity of Nigeria in order to make progress.
All right, Mr. Great Imo, a primate Elijah, he always makes predictions. And according to him, he says that he warned that Tinubu may lose the 2027 presidential election if key opposition leaders, that is Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, join forces as reportedly that they have done now, join the coalition. According to him, he says that Peter Obi and Atiku, if they are serious about taking power, they'll be able to attain it. And according to him, if the two men form an agreement, they could give Tinubu a strong challenge in 2027. He also claimed that the planned coalition of the opposition parties might gain foreign support, especially from the United States. He said the coalition would use the US government to mount pressure on Tinubu's administration. He went further to say that former US President Donald Trump is one of those backing efforts to remove Tinubu from power. The big question is, ever since Donald Trump came on board, we've not really heard him say so much about the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Literally, he's been engulfed with his own reforms, with the border being raised, with having to resolve the situation with Russia, Ukraine, Israel and Gaza, lately Israel and Iran and all whatnot, immigrants who are not properly certified, and a couple of all of that, even some lawsuits as well at the Supreme Court. So right now, in what way would this crop of persons in the coalition use Donald Trump to unseat President Tinubu in 2027? The same president who really helped in getting the US support to remove Jonathan in 2015. That's one. Number two, they have sued the ADC to court right now. Although the ADC have almost 97 lawyers to actually represent them against the coalition, against the All Progressives Congress, or do maybe Kachiko's lawsuits challenging the leadership of the newly ADC, that is the Alliance for the ADC, currently being joined by Peter Obi, Atiku and the likes. So if this political party that is just emerging, or rather just trying to form shape, is already going through legal battles, one, where does that keep this strong force that is Primate is alleging to be a threat to Tinubu's presidency in 2027? And then secondly, what would the coalition do if they're already facing these challenges in terms of structuring themselves? We're going to look into other questions, but just respond to this quickly, please.
Okay, let me start by saying what the prophet said is just a conjecture, because the word may means that he himself is not even sure. I don't like it when these spiritual religious leaders start getting involved and dabbling into looking for they use some of these things, they permutate, trying to use them to gain some relevance. They should stay away, and if they have to speak according to what they are saying, they say God is talking to them, they need to speak in absolute terms. If God says, oh, he's going, this one will go, let it be. God told you that he's going. Be absolute. Don't come and make conjectures and put all those preambles and this. We don't like that. That's one. Number two, the absolute reason why we organize using all manner of structures will tell you that the government itself has failed. But we know that the Nigerian system, what these people in power depend on literally is not the vote of Nigerians, because given the privilege, I will tell you that the larger population of Nigerians today want the government out as of yesterday. But going forward, we know that the factors that have inhibiting change in Nigeria is the failure of the institutions, and that also dovetails to the crisis in political parties in Nigeria. INEC have become instrument for destabilization of the Nigerian polity. But what I fear most, I don't know if you came across my article, why the panic in APC about the coalition. The issue was that in 2023, we had a group of young people, the obedient movement, who are being careful after their experience with the Lekki Toll Gate massacre and the NSAS protest. They moved into a political structure, and most of them end up as obedient movement, like you see the Macronis of this world. But they appear to be young people who were civil, wanted the political change through a civil means. But here now there's a coalition of the old war horse, those who are a bit more bold and courageous, that can challenge the existing, elected leaders like the Rotimi and Matrix, the Aerofiles, the David Mark, who is also a retired soldier. There won't be no MC Olomo to intimidate these characters. And my fear is that if the system that the APC characters are going to depend or have been trying to depend on writing results and forcing people, grabbing it and scratching it, running, they may be having a coalition of the good, the bad, the ugly that they'll be facing in 2027, and those ones also are incapable of bringing this country down. Let's not go from election to war. Hence, my challenge here is that while APC is communizing the coalition have the capacity to do, not just to unseat them, also to face them on this hard tough where they got when they go rogue. Because in 2023, snatch it, grab it, and all of those have been established as a concept of political maneuver. And now they are coming with these characters. You have such characters who also were part of APC, all of them coming together. They understand what APC knows. So the best way out is...
Hello, Mr. Great. Hello. All right, I think Mr. Great has gotten a call that interrupted him. I'll try to reconnect with him. Mr. Lawal Ekundaya, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Good evening.
You're welcome. Mr. Lawal Ekundaya, I'm sure you heard me speaking with Mr. Great Imo. I think he got a call, so we'll reconnect with him. Very quickly, while I try to call him back, Mr. Lawal, for example, the ADC has been sued to court. And it's not surprising because the maybe Kachuku had said he was going to do so. He felt like the leadership that, came on right now is a faction. And they are not constitutionally recognized, within the concept of the originality in terms of leadership and their constitution of the ADC. And there are also talks that the administration of the day, through its supporters and some members, are trying to cause confusion within the ADC by speaking with some of them to come and join the APC, or rather install issues, create issues that will help make the ADC be destabilized or confused or not have any paradigm or trajectory to move ahead. They're trying to gain ground, structure, recognition, and then start setting up a mobilization so people can identify with the ADC. Now, being that this is the situation as it stands, the ADC have their lawyers to represent them based on whatever anybody is bringing on ground. But the big question is, with this distraction oncoming, do you think this will actually further scatter the supporters of the ADC, especially those who really want this coalition to work?
It's what's going on is something that is expected.
Okay.
It's predicted, and I believe the coalition, the people gathering, will have anticipated that and designed many ways by which you can get out of it. So that's what I see, because definitely they will always chase them wherever they go.
Okay.
So they won't stop until the end of that 2027 election.
Okay.
They will be chased all over the place and chased. So they should be more scientific.
Okay.
That is, you should predict the move of your opponent.
Okay.
So that whatever your opponent is bringing against you will not be a surprise.
All right.
We already know, because I myself know that there will be court cases the moment they move themselves to that ADC. There will be a lot of challenge plus court case. It will come on board. So I believe they themselves must have anticipated something like that and got themselves prepared to face the challenge.
Okay.
That's why they have so many other alternatives. The ADA has been going on to be registered. They have one or two other ones, so they move to this one. And notice very well that so many people are moving into the ADC. Do you notice that? So many.
Okay.
Moving into the ADC, collapsing their structure into the ADC from other parties.
Specifically the PDP, though. I want you
Not
to
even
remember
only
that
the PDP.
it's specifically the PDP. The
Even
Board of Trust
some
and Labor.
Labour.
Yes.
Some Labour parties are collapsing into it. So many.
Yes,
even
in
I think
the northern state, one of the Labour parties, they collapsed to join the ADC. True.
So many. So let you know that the battle on ground is between the ruling party and the masses. The masses are ready to move anywhere they see that is going to definitely give them a new, totally different alternative. Totally. Now let me tell you something. Like I said, where we are getting it wrong,
all right,
is that our leaders always see themselves as demigods.
All right.
The WhatsApp. And I'm sorry,
Okay, I thought you got a call. I'm so sorry, Mr. Lawal. I'll very soon be done with Mr. Great Imo. Mr. Great, you were saying something about the resultant outcome of the NSAS in 2020 and the birth of the obedient movement. I can hear you. Hello?
Yeah, what I was going to was that some of those young men involved in those protests were part of the 2023 electoral revolution that we witnessed in Nigeria. And I think they were being more civil, and that was why, despite the glitches, the mutilated results that appeared on IRM and all of those, they didn't have the temerity to go against the system violently and oppose it and then demand the accurate result. But now with this coalition coming, we are coming to see the old warriors with the younger generation coalescing in what I can term the good, the bad, and the ugly coalition. Okay. Whatever you want, you get it. Hence, there is a parity in terms of ability to be equally violent and the ability to be civil if you wish. And if that is the case, 2027 election, the only pathway to victory for any of these people is the quality of the candidates, number one, is the meet the expectation of the citizens, their policies, and the result, especially for the ruling government. What do you have to offer? Because attacking members of the coalition and their personalities will not bring solution. Going forward, we must be careful to know that this is not a prophetic thing. It is something that has to do with a human science, and this is the social science of Nigerian election. If we don't take care, anybody can be voted. It was done in 2015, and we can tell you Nigeria is more in a worse situation today than it was in 2015. And it goes for bearing all situations, even those who are suing people in the ADC right now. They are members of the ADC, but I know that both party constitutions are almost the same. As long as the National Executive Council of the party, the neck of the party can give some waivers under the electoral law. There is room for interim governance. The Supreme Court has ruled on many of these cases in court that have to do with political party leadership. It is the absolute eternal affairs of the party. There was the existing leadership in ADC who had resigned, and I think there was the neck of the party which has given the waivers, obviously, for this interim executive. And those who are going to court, as much as they are members, I think they should know their own constitution. But I know that most constitutions of the political parties are almost the same. And going by what we know of most of these political parties, literally, it looks like somebody is funding because what we see now that crisis in major political position parties.
Yes, there is. Yes, that's what has been experienced.
ADC was peaceful until some notable opposition leaders went there. So it's obvious where who's pulling the strings, but that's unfortunate because if you are afraid of competition, that means you are incapable of running the nation. You can't be depending on stifling opposition, stifling the media, stifling the public, the freedom of speech, intimidating people to rule over the people. No, it can boomerang. It has happened in some African countries. They went from election to civil war. We should be careful. Opposition is there to help government stand strong and do its best to improve the nation. But whereby you are seeking to stifle and destroy opposition so that you become a one-party state. And I tell you, for a country like Nigeria, it will boom. And be careful so it does not lead us into a dangerous dimension.
Mr. Great Imo, what you said is what a lot of Nigerians think, that the current situation within the ADC, that nothing has been going on with, there are some certain persons from the ruling party trying to destabilize it. The SDP too was rather a little bit unknown, although that's one of the parties that was used by President Tinubu in 1999. It was also the party that was used by Obasanjo in 2019 to unseat or to ensure that Muhammadu Buhari is not re-elected. But all of a sudden, it's not the SDP, rather, I'm referring to the ADC. But in 1999, the SDP was a party that the president used, to start off his political formation. But here is the situation, Mr. Great Imo. The SDP now is going through its own internal chaos. In fact, the leadership of the SDP is not happy with the new entrants, which obviously came in through El-Rufai. Now, El-Rufai is possible that he may become, and extricate himself from the SDP and then join the ADC. And barely a week the ADC was announced, we're hearing all of this issue. So now, this is what a lot of Nigerians are either afraid of or they are permutating. Where would this leave certain members who have a large number of followers? Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi. If the coalition is just starting off and it's already going through these challenges, Will that create an imbroglio for Peter Obi as an individual and his supporters, as well as Atiku Abubakar and his followers? Also recall that the faction of the Labour Party under Julius Aburi today on a Monitor television program, Arabambi came and said that an emergency national convention will be convened for the expulsion of Peter Obi because he is in the coalition. How do you see this?
Okay, let me start by sounding a note of caution, especially for some of us media people. I've spoken to a media colleague sometimes back about how we have had to form the negative narrative about our democracy. For example, Arabambi is not known on the official list of Labour to be a member of the executive. Then even with the so-called Abure so-called fashion, is not known there. And there has been a court pronouncement that has declared that the tenure of Abure has ended. Likewise, political parties, sometimes it appears that we in the media were looking for something to keep the news going.
He has admitted that he is loyal to Julius Abure. And Peter Obi came in through their team as a whole.
Arabambi was the man who was like a spokesperson to Pampa-led group who was fighting Abure before.
Exactly.
And then when they begin to come together, all of them are all illegals in this situation because there has been a pronouncement of court that declared that their tenure had ended. And then the party has organs that can help to push the party to the next phase, which have recognized the interim leadership. But I think sometimes we also like the news. We like to have something in
But Mr. Great Imo, let me explain something to you. Just 2 months ago, this same Arabambi came on national television. I want us to follow the sequence. There's nobody confusing anything here. This same Arabambi came on national television to tell us that they have reconciled with Peter Obi. He has also told us that they're trying to reorganize their management. They're going to be having a convention. They also said that they have returned the automatic ticket to Peter Obi. I have that video where Arabambi was on Arise television for a long time saying that it is normal for family members to have issues and dispute. Arabambi almost took 45 or 50 minutes explaining that Lamido Akpakpa, he himself and a couple of other members who are now in the faction with Julius Abure are now in good terms with Peter Obi. And 2 months after, based on the Supreme Court ruling, where obviously maybe Peter Obi did not align with Julius Abure, Peter Obi decided for the judgment from the Supreme Court to take foothold. Now they have turned against him. So don't say we're trying to misconstrue things. This was just 2 months ago. Arabambi was on national television telling all of that.
Yeah, what I mean to say is that as students of mass communication, we read law as protocols. That when Arabambi appears on Arise does not give him legitimacy or to confer authority of leadership on him. Anybody can be on TV claiming anything, but the little we do is to do the background check to find out where does this character stand in law that gives him the authority to the power to speak with such authority. Arabambi is not recognized both in the INEC portfolio as one of the executives. So whatever he calls reconciliation, it is not and void. It does not have any relevant status of law. So hence we is just another interloper, a very vague character seeking relevance using this so-called crisis, and you can see obviously that some of these people are being funded. I don't even have a problem with this character because it is kind of thing. The own level is happening in many other parties. What I think is the real crisis here is the way INEC have behaved. INEC has become a laughing stock in the committee of the electoral umpires in the world. The INEC of Nigeria, that is why somebody sits in America and calls it a country like ours a shithole. And some people have no shame because their character and behavior is pushing this. Right now, there have been a complaint beyond this one. There are so many political associations that have submitted their proposals for registration. INEC is sitting on them. Even when court pronouncements are made, INEC does not want to stand by the pronouncement. Even when these political parties approach INEC to say, this is the judgment of the Supreme Court. INEC deliberates as if INEC has personal interest. And I think that Nigerians are conscious right now, if there's any battle they have to fight beyond 2027, If there is any institution of Nigeria beyond the shenanigans of the judiciary, it is INEC. INEC may end up destroying this country. Those sitting in INEC have become the enemies of democracy. They did it in 2023 to the hearing of everybody after convincing people, marketing their processes, everybody believing in it. INEC changed in the middle of the game and still nothing has happened. Anybody who wants the progress of Nigeria right now, beyond all this rolling about from one political party to the other and coalition and non-coalition, the most important thing today is that the leaders and anybody who wants the interest of Nigeria and democracy to thrive and to forestall any dangerous outcome going forward. The struggle must be to hold INEC accountable and to insist on absolute reform of INEC. There are characters sitting in the INEC now that have become a danger not only to the democracy, not only danger to election, they are dangerous to Nigeria's future because if there is any manipulation that will lead to in Nigeria, many countries in Africa ended up in civil war through election. And INEC now, without people looking at it, the activities of INEC is setting this country off on a dangerous trajectory. I don't think people are seeing what I'm saying. INEC has become a dangerous institution in Nigeria. They must be held to account beyond all these political parties squabbles. Nigerians must focus on finding out why INEC has become the opposition to Nigerian democracy and freedom of democracy in Nigeria. I am seeing that as a dangerous spot for Nigeria right now. Hence, the Arabian beings of this world will not even exist if INEC were doing their job. Hence, even the opponents of this world would not have tempted to take their party to court if this exists. Hence, even the crisis in PDP, even the current chairman of APC wouldn't even be there. Because all of them are illegal. But I think APC is a bit stable because the ruling party and there is a president whom everybody is looking up to, not even the party structure right now. But this is not good for democracy, and it is INEC that is bastardizing all of this thing, and those who are collecting and those who are squabbling in their political parties, if they are serious about moving Nigeria forward, the first struggle right now that must begin to happen in a very serious way is to occupy INEC and ensure and insist on reforms. And secondly, is to nudge the National Assembly to ensure that the electoral reforms, the electoral processes are reframed and structured in a way that every Nigerian will have the freedom to vote. And you talk about Africa. They're coming on shit hole. They are thinking about us as though we don't even know what they're doing. Today, American president is inviting 5 African presidents. Nigeria is not invited. Is it not an indictment on our leadership? And we're still here, wasting people's land, wasting children's destiny, and we think we're joking because a few people just want to grab and hold the resources of the nation while destroying the destiny of millions of youths whose future are being played around through these electoral shenanigans.
Mr. Great-Imo, before I let you go, it's quite unfortunate that just 2 years into this administration, all the talk on the polity has been all about 2027 while governance suffers. Now, the president has actually ruled out some of his achievements, talked about credit core, talked about some of the infrastructural developments that he has commenced, talked about NEL Fund, which is the educational sector, which obviously Daniel Bala was saying that what exactly do these persons in the coalition or in the opposition intend to bring on board that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not started off with. But if in 2 years the president parts himself and his administration are the back, that they are doing well, despite what they came and took away from or took over from the previous administration, while are Nigerians still groaning? Why is there hunger severely worse than what was experienced during the administration of Buhari? Why is food production low? Why is there high surge of food insecurity? Why is there insecurity generally? The countenance, the disposition of the administration has been all about politics rather than having to speak on the achievements of the administration. Mr. Great-Imo, in the past 4 days that the coalition made their intentions known and were able to express themselves and their leadership, all the spokespersons of the president, all their reaction and responses has been on individuals in the coalition. One person talked more about is Peter Obi. Would you say that they are so distracted or so into 2027 that they don't realize that it is what they're able to implement on Nigerians that will give them a receipt for support in 2027?
Let me start by saying that a wise man once said that politicians think of the next election,
okay,
but statesmen think of the next generation. So the behavior of the characters in power tells you they're not statesmen. They're only about the next election. It's about the state capture. That is why today I'm here in FCT. The crisis here in FCT is about the minister now is talking to land grabbing here and there, crisis of property, of collecting people's properties, spending billions on renovating an event center. Why children, as I'm talking to you, the Federal Capital Territory, children in public school have been, they've been at home from 90 going to 100 days. Health centers, health education, public health centers in Abuja, the workers they are down to zero. As I'm talking to you, last week throughout, the FCDA civil servants were on protest. They were protest for how many days? Yes. Who is the FCT minister is driving Rolls-Royce and on convoy of exotic cars, and has been accused of allocating over 2,000 hectares of tourism, for which somebody has been arrested from the land administrative office for having leaked the information.
Yes.
These are the characters, and this is what people are all about. Hence, today, even beyond is telling you that the economic policies are not working because we have seen so much misapplication of resources. You are building a coastal road that is leading to nowhere. Even the controversy that have come from the 30 so-called kilometers that have been inaugurated, where it has become over 1,000 kilometers of road have been built in 1 month, in 1 year. You are commissioning 30 kilometers of road that is leading to nowhere. Where the existing roads are in dilapidated shape, it is obvious that these contracts are given because people want to fix people. Right now in Abuja, contractors are not being paid. Even those being carriers in Abuja have not been paid for 7 months.
Interesting.
People don't even have stationery to work with. So these are the characters that are already constituting themselves into nuisance for the next election, abusing everybody. But for the coming together of this coalition, they are trying to give accounts, but you cannot explain to Nigerians what they are experiencing. Over 15 million people have been plunged into poverty. By 2003, when you took over, naira to dollar was at least about 380. Now it's 1,500. By ratio decided, how much do you think Nigerians have lost in terms of value? Over 60% of their earning power has been gone. No, minimum wage cannot buy a bag of rice. And you are trying to explain it away. You can't explain it away. And even this administration is trying to exonerate from Buhari administration, that is tricky. It's very tricky. President Tinubu was the leader of the APC. These 10 years of APC, they are one in one. Nobody in this administration can exonerate for Buhari's administration. Even to make matters worse, Buhari's administration naira to the dollar, 380 to the dollar, now it's 1,500. And yet they keep blaming Buhari. We blame PDP 15 years when Buhari came. Now Buhari is gone, APC is blaming APC, and Nigerians want to continue to live in this blame game instead of solution. I just gave an example of Ghana. Go to Ivory Coast. Everything is not supposed to change in a magical way. But Nigerians want to see a progressive change. But instead of saying that, we see people who are citizens every day, shout down on them. They are spreading living in opulence while many people are going into poverty. And in public school in Abuja are not going to school, and this is the center of power. And Nigeria is not street light. And the man who I watched contact with even bidding and tender, have you found out what is happening in Abuja?
Interesting.
So this is
all right, Mr. Green.
And that is the unfortunate situation. Very unfortunate. And Nigerians should stand up for their rights because this country is owned by nobody should play God, and it's not about your position, it's about the livelihood of Nigerians and the future of young Nigerians.
All right. Mr. Great Imo, there are talks that the situation with Nnamdi Kanu, that the administration of the day may actually want to utilize the quagmire with Nnamdi Kanu to curry favor from the southeast. I mean, it will be a political solution or a political truce between the current government of the day and the southeast. But some factions of the southeasterners, some persons have actually supported the administration of the president and they want him to continue. Another faction of Ohanes, I think by Isiguzuru, is saying that they will not be, they will not be moved by whatever antics the administration of the day wants to bring in terms of currying their support, either trying to look for a political resolution to release Nnamdi Kanu. But what if that conversation comes on the table? Some Southeasterners who supposedly are not happy with the administration, what if there is a major promise that, just like Tinubu did in 2023, if you support my father, I promise you that Nnamdi Kanu will be released. Do you think that they would do what they did in 2023 in 2027? Why I'm asking this is Nnamdi Kanu's brother came out to tell us that there was a verbal agreement or a verbal conversation between him and the president's son. The president's son had said that with the permission of their father, that's the president right now, that whatever conversation they have and agree on is sealed and solid. And after almost 2 years, nothing was happening. Then Kanu came out to actually disclose that this was a conversation that was had and that they tried, in supporting the president, but nothing came out of it. So do you think these are part of the antics that will be used by the administration of the day to curry favor from a couple of persons who are displeased with the administration?
Actually, I will remember there was the time before this last year, this president in Castle, Nnamdi Kanu, after he was released on bail, granted to a television station, and he was asked, what would Nigeria do to make you give up the agitation for Biafra? And I think people should go and look for that video. What has led to the struggle for Biafra is what? Inequality. That is the summation of all of these things. That when he talks about the reason why people of the Southeast are feeling marginalized, and addressing those things will address this situation, and which is also for every other part of Nigeria. And rather than pursue those things, we try to play politics with his incarceration. To start with, legally speaking, I would say that Nnamdi Kanu's brother is not smart. Okay. Making the president's son is being stupid. Everything that Nnamdi Kanu stands for, if he cannot be proven legally that he's right to pursue it, because there is a right, even under the UN Charter, there is right to self-determination. And the Nigerian Constitution to bear that responsibility to explain it to why they cannot agitate. If there are any other things they have committed outside the law, you prove it in court. In fact, what is even key is that the court in Kenya have said that the honoring of Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria remains illegal and unlawful. Is null and void. So what that means is already that the trial going on today is null and void. It's standing on nothing. The deal as it may, they have called for a selected hearing to finish the legal battles here. And if that is done, nobody should call in favor of Nnamdi Kanu. And if Nnamdi Kanu is a true freedom fighter, he should stand on his side. If you kill Nnamdi Kanu today without addressing the situation, maybe a generation that may be worse than he is, that will still go for that struggle. So address the root cause of the problem rather than the symptoms of the problem. Then going forward to use it as a political gimmick to convince the people of Southeast, it will not work. The only thing I know that works with people all over Nigeria today is that what would you do to bring solutions to that? This is a country that is potentially a wealthy nation. Gold is stolen from Zamfara. Then the resources of Nigeria is being used to buy escalade and convoy of vehicles for the people in Nigeria. And yet the people are seeing them live in this opulence and you are trying to explain away their poverty. This is not the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, because there will be many more Nnamdi Kanu and we should be careful. Because yesterday we used to hear in the early 1990s, 1,000 children out of school, 100,000 children out of school. By early 2000, we started hearing 1.2 million children out of school. 2025 today, we're hearing that 23 million children of Nigeria out of school. And you wonder why there are no government, there are bandits, Boko Haram, those children that were calling imagine we never provided for today are bearing arms. The ones now who are agitating because they went to school, don't let them become the latter weapon, the next latter weapon we have to deal with in Nigeria, because this space is shrinking. Today we're talking about food insecurity, because insecurity in many other parts of the country is not allowing farmers to go to work. And who have been recruited, uneducated kids of Nigeria, who have no work. Somebody can convince them with as little as 1,000, the same way politicians who are supposed to put the...
Hello, Mr. Great. Oh, wow. Mr. Great, the network. The network is not making us smile today, Mr. Great. I'll call you back. Mr. Lawal, we need to get reactions. I'm so sorry.
Because I'm enjoying all these conversations.
You're enjoying what he's saying.
Yes. No.
So let me ask you something. A couple of people are not happy with what Nigeria wants to battle with, or Nigerians want to battle with. If we say we want a new political culture that will give us proper administration and help to focus on the fundamentals in national development, unity and nationhood, that the current crop of persons in the leadership of the ADC are not who it will get us to the land of utopia, because a couple of them have their own self-interest to look into. But a couple of people believe that since Nigeria's political landscape is brutish, the only way to navigate its muddy water or bloodletting system is to use the criminals to get to the top and change the system. Do you see this as a possibility? Can darkness fight darkness to attain light?
Now let me clarify something.
Okay.
Let me make a correction, if I may. We are not using the British system. You get it? We are not following, but we have back away from British since 1963. When they gave us the independence, we went into republic. Republic means we don't have anything to do with you again. So we have been on our own since 1963 when they declared a republic. That's why Nigeria became a republic, not independent.
In other words, Mr. Lawal Kundaya. In other words.
So now, coming back to what is happening in presently, people that's why I keep saying this. People who are forming this coalition, not all of them have all this, eroding, questionable character that people say.
I asked you a very plain question. Can we fight darkness with darkness to attain light? Is there any way that is possible?
Esther, in science, it's possible.
In science?
Yes.
You're dealing with human beings who are absolutely unpredictable.
Because even in mathematics,
I'm just
F
saying,
plus F is equals to T.
We're not certain. There's no predictability when it comes to human behavior. There's a saying that the mind of man is uncanny, unpredictable. You can never decipher. You know how they say you see an individual looks so quiet, looks so responsible, but he's a murderer in the night or even in broad daylight. That's what I'm asking you, Mr. Lawal Ekundayo. If the political culture is about change, agreed, Nigerians are free. Things are hard. I am feeling the brunt. We come here every day, we talk about national issues, we seem to be okay. It's called packaging. Everyone is packaging themselves. It's not easy. Salary is not being increased. There is house rent. There are responsibilities at home. You have parents who have one illness or the other. They have to go to the hospital. Different challenges. You need to feed. You're navigating with transportation. There is a lot ongoing. But we come here, we deliver a job, we do right. You think we're okay. Everyone is going through the nitty-gritty, the painful economic implementation currently ongoing. But my question is, if we say we want to create a new platform, we want to cut out the rot from the mess we found ourselves, we want to do what you call a clean slate, are you going to use the persons who are the fundamentals of this to create a new platform? That's my question. To create a sense of cleanliness in our political structure.
That's why I started that by saying that not all of these people you see forming coalition are bad. Okay. I keep saying it. Some of them have good antecedents that can move us forward. Second, when it comes to power, when it comes to leadership, you have to bring people together.
Okay.
You have to bring people together. You may see somebody who is bad, but his ideology may align with your own, and then you work together. When they were going to unseat Jonathan, go and look at people who formed that force against him now. There's so many looks and, here and there, they had to march together to be able to do that. So, and sometimes you may support somebody and then thinking that person was going to change, or maybe you don't see the true person of that person. And the moment you saw it, you now decided to change back. That doesn't mean that you are bad. It means that you have been manipulated. It means that you have been lied to. Lie means that somebody told you something that is not true. So many people who have been part of this government and believe that they don't support it again doesn't necessarily mean they are bad. It could mean that they were told something and they were seeing something different.
Okay.
So it's possible that way. That is why anybody who's coming from a coalition, you need to be careful the people you are, forming coalition with. That's what I'm just saying.
Okay.
Be careful. There are people in which, for example, they said they want to a level playing ground.
A clean slate from a normal political culture.
That's what I'm saying. That a level playing ground means that everybody comes on board.
Yeah.
There's a free and fair election, objective, and anybody
that is within the coalition, like in terms of the primary.
Yes, anybody who win, let others support. Then you come and test your popularity. It's beautiful. It's a good slate.
Okay,
it's a clean slate.
But there's a lot of lobbying that will go on.
Lobbying is normal now.
My question now is, some of the obedience are saying we don't want that. We don't
want
that.
That means they are afraid. That means they are minority. That means they don't trust Obi. That means they don't trust him. Because if you say you are afraid, when it comes to a level playing ground,
the composition that has joined the ADC, they are mostly from the north. And the north, as usual, they feel that the north is power hungry and they will not put aside their own to actually support a Peter Obi.
Now, what is the number? See, each time, that's why I don't like hearing things like that. I keep fighting it.
The fact that you don't like hearing it doesn't mean that that's not what takes place. So we need to address it and now ask the question: what do we do if that's the case? Right now, if Peter Obi is in the Labour Party, the coalition is able to navigate this muddy water and these challenges that are currently going through with all the legal proceedings and all whatnot, and they decide to hold a transparent and objective primary where anyone who emerges is being supported by everyone, and it is not a Peter Obi. Then what happens? Because according to Peter, he says by 2031 he's no longer going to continue with politics. The obedient movement are saying that the reason why we are adrenaline pushed and that we're compelled to support the coalition is because of Peter Obi. But the obedient movement, it's not everyone that is from all the regions that are inside the obedient movement. You need other regions as well to possibly give Peter Obi the support that is required, or an Atiku the support that is required to unseat a Peter Obi, or even Rotimi Amici, or even Aregbesola if he decides to put his heart in the race. So these individuals, as we know, and Nigerians as a whole, the APC, the coalition, other political bureaucrats and Nigerians, what would you advise Nigerians to do now in a minute, because we need to open the phone lines?
Now, what I'm trying to say is this. Whosoever wants to be president of Nigeria is not going to be president of one ethnic group. He's not going to be president of one region. He's going to be president of the totality of Nigerians. And what is our population? So if you are coming over, you have to be president of everybody. That means everybody from every corner of the country, majority of them will have to support you. So why are you now saying that the obedient or whatever, if you know that, yes.
No, I'm not saying if you've been following.
No, it's not you I'm saying. I'm just talking about the obedient that they have. You don't need to be afraid of anything, because the person you are presenting you believe that it is the person that the majority wants.
Okay.
So if it's the person that the majority wants, then definitely it's going to scale through. That is it. You don't need to be. What you need to do is to be working to galvanize support for the person that you are presenting. That is the way it goes. Not for you to come over and say, if it's going away, I'm not going to. The opposition will start using it against you as if you are, for one region. It's going to be for one region. No, you should be galvanizing. You should be, using resources to be able to convince the other areas that, no, this person is the right person. That's what you should be doing.
Okay, Mr. Lawal Ekundara there. Thank you for joining us today. We're still on this together. And I was on call earlier with Mr. Great Emo. Obviously, we had quite a lengthy conversation. Unfortunately, the network got us interrupted. But obviously, we can actually send our questions to him in any way that we actually want clarifications on. He spoke quite a lot on some of the issues that were reeled out to him, giving us his insight into some of the topics that were reeled out to him. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to get your reaction. The number to call is 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. The WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. 0817-081756338. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Evening Rush. How are you? Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Can you speak louder, please? What's your name?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Good evening. Please, what's your name, ma'am?
My name is Peter.
Oh, Peter. I'm so sorry. Peter, you're a man. Your voice is so feminine. All right, please, Mr. Peter, go ahead. Where are you calling us from?
From Obaole.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
I want to use this opportunity to beg Nigeria.
Can you speak louder, Peter, please? Speak louder. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now. So go ahead.
Please, I want to use this opportunity to beg Nigeria, and especially Mr. Darlington has been working.
Mr. Darlington is not here, please.
I know. I'm trying to make a comment, but I tried calling out yesterday. No, it was not going. Please, I want to say that whoever Nigeria have suffered enough, and we cannot take it anymore. So please, whoever whoever is thinking that Peter will be the best president in 2027. I'm not against P2B, I'm not against Atiku. My own is that whoever you think will be the best president, please don't take it too far. Because this is exactly what happened, what we heard about this president.
What do you mean about taking it too far, Mr. Peter? You need to get your thoughts right. In what context are you talking about? I'm
trying to say that in 2027 election, let us come outside and vote, but please, let us not make the same mistake that we make.
All right. Okay.
We should all think twice.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Peter. Thank you so much. He was really trying to gather his thoughts properly. Please, when you call, gather your thoughts properly, okay? Because we have a lot of persons calling. 080-3692-9933. Hello, good evening. Turn down the volume of your radio. Turn it off.
Hello?
How are you? What's your name, sir? Welcome.
Good evening, Esther.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
My name is Obinna, calling from it.
All right, Obinna, please go ahead.
Is it how democracy look like? Election is far away from two years. Now, everything is going as if we are going to war. People are very tasty of power. Is it when election is coming, everybody will be running out of Nigeria? What of if the election comes closer? Everything is going on, just taking bad steps. Let Nigeria live with their power. We have choose to live like that. Let them siphon all the whole money in this country and go away with it. Let them give us a piece of chance. 2 years far away, everything was sounding like we are going to fight a war of Third World War, the Fifth World War.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. 080-3692-9933. That's the number. Hello, how are you? Good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. How are you?
Yeah.
Hello. I can hear you. What is your name?
This subject.
Hello.
I'm Sonny Banye. I'm calling you from Casablanca.
All right, Mr. Sonny, welcome.
Okay. So what I want to say is this. When we're talking about coalition ADC or whatever they call themselves, or APC, whichever denomination they call themselves. The problem here is not voting. The problem is not election. We have been voting. It is on record, and it is well known that someone like Buhari did not win. In fact, have never won the entire election that he had been leading Nigeria. From 2015 to 2019, he never won the election. All were rigged. When we scrutinize them properly, they were all rigged. Election of 2023 was massively, the rigging was a kind of, they cannot pretend, they cannot cover it up. So they have to do it in a brutal way, in a very obvious way that even a baby, even a fetus in a woman's belly knows that this thing is so manipulated. But we all pretend because Nigeria is a hypocritical. We are so hypocritical that we pretend at everything. We know the truth, but we don't want to say the truth. That's the problem of Nigeria. Then let me go this way. Whatever you're mobilizing or coalition or whatever.
Hello? Hello?
As much as those who are there will still rig their way as usual. In fact, it will be more brutal. And they have the court in their pocket. The judges are in their pocket to do their biddings. The first men, the men in uniform are in their pocket to do.
Well, okay. He got interrupted. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening. My
Good
name
evening,
is
sir.
Nauna.
Una.
Naruna.
Inaruna. All right, Inaruna. Where are you calling us from, please?
I'm calling from Makoluku.
All right, Inaruna, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I enjoy your program
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah, so I also have a lot related to this to contribute.
Okay.
Please, we all know we are the same one to know, want to run, move on. You know, just like the last said, this is our ruling party, they are our ruling government. They don't know what they are doing, and they are just, preparing for the next election, how to grab it. I want all Nigerians to just stand up and choose whosoever they want to be, like person to vote for. That's just my contribution.
Thank you very much. The right person to vote for, who represents the interest of everybody, because that's a big question. Is it about just unseating this administration or creating a new platform, a new system from what is existing? Because if it is just to remove the administration, remove the president, and install something that is similar to what you're removing, is it not from frying pan to fire?
That's why the problem is the
system,
the method we use, the method of inducement.
Okay.
Not method of convincing.
Hello. Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Welcome.
Yes, I greet you, sir. I greet you, guest in the studio.
Yes. Good evening.
Sir.
Yeah, can you hear me very well?
Yes. Please. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Shola. I'm calling from Ayodele.
All right, Shola. Please go ahead.
Now, you see, the issue we have in Nigeria is this peculiar problem we have. Nigerians forget history easily. And we are.
Shola, you sound muffled. Are you using an earpiece? All these WhatsApp callers. This is a call will interrupt you. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Fine. This is Okambelina.
Okambelina, welcome. Calling from
I'm in
where?
Makoluku.
All right, go ahead, Okambelina.
I think the way this thing is going, it's going to be a very big fight.
What thing, sir?
In 2027, everything that is happening now is 2027.
Exactly.
Even the government itself, they have stopped their work.
Yeah.
They are now strategizing towards 2027.
Yeah.
It's very clear. So what I will advise the coalition people is that they should present one candidate.
Okay.
If Obi and Atiku, if they go separate ways, they have given this man another chance to come and intimidate and harass and punish us. So what they should do is to put their own acts together. I don't care if Obi happens to join a ticket with Atiku to fight this man. I don't mind. But because if two of them begin to say, "Oh, I must be president," this one I must be president, we are going back to 2027, and these people and that is what APC is fighting. This is what they are praying. I don't want us to play into their hands again. So, madam, you people that are close to them, you should advise them.
We are close to them.
Your analyst, you people should advise them. They should not repeat that 2027 again. Yes. All right. Two of them must work together. If one wants to serve as vice president, it doesn't matter.
All right.
It's better to be vice president than to miss this thing again this time. It's very, very critical. Please, that's my only advice to them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So now it's no longer about the administration not doing the needful. Anything to possibly, just let Tinubu leave. What if he's able to do something in the next, maybe this policy, whatever, what if in this following 2 years, we're going to see alleviation, we're going to see an upliftment? Would the stories change, or would it just be adamant, Tinubu must go?
No, you see.
I'm just asking, it's an unbiased.
If it is about the people, then let the people decide. That's a simple thing.
Okay. 08036929933. That is the number. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What is your name, sir? Welcome.
From
all right, go ahead, sir.
Just as you are talking of this Obi and Atiku, that is the if Atiku and Obi become president for this year, the APC will still ring this election 2027 to mount on the throne. But people won't fight them. Let them come down. Obi to be 5 is not bad, so that you can take over this government. If not, if some of them be dragged with Tinubu will still quickly. And my own advice where I want to be like Ayala and tribalism are commencing. These are the people that are taking part. If the battle, it will be like Tofa and Abiola that time, so that you can be able to see the real election in 2027. That is my own comment.
All right. Are you sure we're not going to face voter intimidation and voter harassment? For example, this local government elections coming up on July 12, there are talks that the Labour Party went to a particular community. Sarah reporters released it, and they denied them having to do their campaign despite getting permission from the council to go about their activity in campaigning. They moved them away, they beat up some of them, and they said that this is a state of the APC. No other political party should be here.
Which area is that?
I saw it in Sarah Reporters. I've forgotten the area, but it was in the news, I think 2 days ago. And the young man, through a video, was showing the cuts and bruises. Now, they made it seem as if it was a particular ethnic group that is in charge of the Labour Party. These persons are from the southwest. The campaigners are from the southwest. They were all Yorubas. So the question now is, again, which is what the main thing a lot of persons are asking, is the presidency a regional thing or a national thing? Where you're seeing ethnic baiting, ethnic slurs. Some persons are calling for genocide, what transpired in the civil war, just because their candidate is not being supported by other ethnic groups. They're making it seem like it's a personal agenda against their ethnic group just because they're not supporting the administration of the presidency. It's not a good development. It's not a good scenario for a democratic society. But how would you, look at this? In what prism would you look at this?
No, something like that has been going on.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that, make us to be, what will be backward as we are now. But it's worse. That's what I'm worried about. You're supposed to be getting better with each administration. Supposed to be getting better, but it's getting worse. Something you cannot look at America. Blacks will go there. From here they'll be talking about a marginalized. I tell them that they'll be talking about racism. I tell them that is the worst. We are so polarized.
Too polarized.
In fact, and the politicians
they take advantage of it.
In fact, they set it now. They didn't take advantage. They set it. It's what they set.
Hello. Good evening. Hello. All right. Doesn't know that biggest call. 08036929933. That is the number to call. All right. Hello. Good evening. How are you? Turn down the volume of your radio, please. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Welcome. What's your name, please?
Yeah. My name is Chris.
Chris.
Okota.
From what location, sir?
Okay. Yeah. What I want to say is that I want to comment on what your guest is trying to analyze to you. When you are saying the fate of people in the APC, the fate of people in the ADC. See, there's something that people said when he was governor of Anambra State. He said that the same teachers he used, even the school are not working. The same teacher he used and get the school working. He didn't change any teacher. So the issue is, the main thing is, who is that person in the front of the affair? It matters. If the person as a president is not correct, I don't think the ministers and those people will go with thief money and he will not hold them. So that's my point. So the main thing is
you guys calling on WhatsApp. It's not going to be clean. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, welcome. How are you, sir?
Well done.
Thank you. What's your name, please?
My name is The Truth.
Calling from the town of Injustice. Mr. The Truth, welcome. Please go ahead.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Why thanking God for your station and your live.
Thank you.
We thank those analysts that you are always bringing to the studio. They have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the nitty-gritty to explain to these we masses. Concerning the man you have spoken with, that the line was cutting up.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'll be able to be getting him to chip in his own idea.
Okay.
Straight to the point. If INEC, the electoral reform is readjusted or is put in proper perspective, number one, the judiciary, number two, the armed forces. When I mean the armed forces, the military, air force, police, Tinubu has brought them over. He has brought them, go and mark it, go and write today's date. Unless these three angles, the judiciary, the INEC, and the armed forces, because Tinubu is ready to spend anything on all of them. See what he's doing to the House of Representatives. Immediately he entered, he bought vehicle, how many millions? So he has sealed their mouth, the House of Reps and the senators. He first of all pushed money into their mouth and sealed them with money. So Tinubu is ready to spend any amount to enter again. He go and bet it. Money is the root of all evils. So those who are in power now, any institution, they are corrupt from A to Z. Unless the masses revolt like what happened in Kenya. If not, we are seeing the same soup. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. The Truth, for calling. 080-3692-9933. That is the number to call. And some of you calling on WhatsApp. I don't know, the network, your network, you may get interrupted. Hello? Hello? See, I have picked your call. You didn't know I have picked your call. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
People should stop wasting his money.
What is your name, sir? What is your name?
Emeka by 12.
All right, Emeka, please go ahead.
People should stop wasting his money.
Okay.
If I have a way to reach him, I would tell him not to waste his money. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We waste money on drink.
He said he should not bother. He said he should not bother. 08036929933. That is a number to call. All right, 08036929933. And the WhatsApp number is 0817175633.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm Godfrey of Surulere, please.
All right, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Lawal.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for all you people do. At least you are giving us all the information needed in Nigeria. But permit me to come into the area that I had Lawal now saying that all politicians that is their way. This division that we are experiencing now, that it's Nigerian politicians. But I would like him to just reflect a little and to know that when Obasanjo was in power, or Yaradua, there was not this division. So I would like us to bring it down, totally down to APC. It is a weapon that APC has introduced to Nigeria. So let us not be generalizing it, because when we generalize it, that is when we give them even that impression that, oh, it is Nigerian thing. No, it is not. I have been following up politics for a long time. At that time, there was no this division. There was no this this kind of acrimony that we see now. So,
you guys calling on WhatsApp. That is it. You just be cut off. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello?
Yes, good evening, sir. Welcome. Hello. What is your name, sir?
This is Philip. I'm calling you from Michigan.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
So are you listening to me? I see your guest on the studio.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
So my take in this is that I hear what the competition has been saying concerning Nigeria, the forming of the coalition. How do you say that you APC students to the court?
Yes.
It's just an intimidation. I believe nothing will happen. The APC will learn in 2027, either they like it or not, because the country is not going. They are not performing when they come to this administration. I'm telling you the fact.
All right, sir. It is not. I want to correct you. I was waiting for you to land. It's not the APC that took them to court. It is the Dumebi Kachiko faction that took them to court. They consider the faction of David Mark to be illegitimate. All right. So I hope you got that right. I just wanted you to land before I respond to that. Hello. How are you?
Good evening,
sir.
Esther.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Lawal Kundari.
Good evening, sir.
This is Mary. I'm calling from Festa.
All right. Go ahead, Mary.
There was a point that Mr. Great Imo, that journalist raised, and it's very, very vital. You see, these things, one day we'll be asking, how did we get here? That is the language of Nigerians. INEC and the judiciary have allowed themselves to be used as government institutions that is very active in derailing our democracy. These things that happened in 2023. There are some smaller African countries that half of people happen and the country will get burnt. Everybody. If it was P2B that when he said he was going to go to court, that announcement that they made early in the morning when people were asleep, or midnight or whatever, after they said they were going to reconvene tomorrow, that it would have exploded, that caused a lot of havoc. Right. And they're still on the same trajectory now, not arranging political parties. People should call them to order, because this country, once it gets exploded, all of them will be consumed. We will make sure that no plane leaves this country. Everybody the explosion will affect everybody here. Because we are talking as if it's only the people on the other side that are going to be affected. Let people, for the coalition, I would suggest that Atiku has done it before in 2006. Let him go the way of elder statesman. And yes, it will be, a lot of people are saying Obi. Let him play the fatherly role. At least we know how we handled his office as people under Obasanjo. He did well as Solomon. Let Atiku toe the line of elder statesman and let this country go move forward. Thank
you very much. So here is the thing. The plaintiffs of the ADC, those who are suing the David Mark faction to court, these are their names. Adeyemi Emmanuel, Ayodele Victor Tolu, and Haruna Ismaila. These are the individuals who are challenging the legality of the David Mark leadership of the ADC. Adeyemi Emmanuel, Ayodele Victor Tolu, Haruna Ismaila. They are challenging the legality of the appointments of Senator David Mark, former Senate President David Mark, as interim national chairman former Interior Minister Ralph Aregbesol's interim National Secretary, and ex-Minister of Sports Bolaji Abdullahi as interim National Publicity Secretary of the ADC. Now, according to the plaintiffs, they're asking the court to determine, amongst other things, whether the appointments of the coalition-backed figures violate the ADC constitution in 2018 as amended, and whether such leadership changes can lawfully occur without a properly convened national convention or decision of the party's National Executive Committee. They also asked the court to determine whether or not the appointment of the 4th, 5th, and 6th defendant as interim national chairman, national secretary, and national publicity secretary of the first defendant was made in breach of the provisions of the African Democratic Congress Constitution. So this is the bane of the situation, and it's obvious that these persons are within the faction of that of Dumebi Kachuku. So he has already said they'll be going to court to challenge what just currently took place. So yeah, that is the real information as to those who took David Mark faction to court. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Wow, sir, turn down. I've always told you when you call, turn down the volume of your radio. Turn it off completely. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello. Yes, good evening. Welcome. What's your name?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening,
Yes,
sir. How are you?
Thank you very much. This is Malam Bello Usman.
Malam Bello Usman, how are you day today?
Thank you very much. I am calling you from our local government of Kano State.
Kano State.
Yes.
All right. That means you're watching us on YouTube. All right, Malam, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You see, I'm on my knees right now as I'm talking to you. I'm on my knees begging former President Atiku Abubakar, His Excellency Peter Obi, to come together and unite together. So in fact, what majority of us in Nigeria now, because I cannot say all of us, because maybe few Nigerians would like to support this current government, but majority of us in Nigeria today, what we need right now, we don't want Atiku Abubakar and His Excellency Peter Obi to become an enemy of Nigeria. We want them to let's keep this like this our dear country right now. As I'm talking to you, Nigeria is in need of Peter Obi and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. The only thing that we want now is better Nigeria. We thought this government will give us better Nigeria, but this government has failed this country. Since 1960, we have never witnessed this kind of bad leadership like this. Present government like this Ayodele Tinubu leadership and Akwajo. They have introduced bad leadership in this country, and by the grace of God, the election comes 2027, inshallah, if not between the APC and the ADC, or what is the name of this new coalition party. It is the election between APC and Nigeria, and by the grace of God, before 2 o'clock on Monday, the election will be announced on Monday or Sunday. By the grace of God, before 2 o'clock, majority of us in Nigeria will say bye-bye to Tinubu and APC, because they are even dangerous than COVID-19. The way I look at this, because Nigeria has turned up. We are living in our own country as if we are refugees. So the extent the president is even comparing the opposition party with the IGP. So they're like, what kind of leadership is this? We don't need that anymore. But God Almighty spare our lives before 2027, because the power of who become president of this country is in the hands of Nigerians. And by the grace of God, we will show them the way out of the villa with the left hand. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Malam. Thank you for calling. 08036929933. That is the number to call. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, Esther.
Hello, sir. Joe from Bariga.
Hello, Esther.
Yes, sir.
Hello, I can hear you, Esther.
I can hear you, Joe. Good evening. It's
oh
not
my
Joe.
God.
I can hear you, Joe. I can hear
Hello,
you.
Esther.
I can
Esther,
hear you very well.
Esther, I can hear you right now.
All right, this is Joe from Bariga, right?
Esther is Joe from Bariga, right?
All right, go ahead, sir.
Esther, did you not hear what? I think somebody posted that they say what Sahara is saying. We will not start early now and handle this issue. We don't want where this thing will bring problem between two tribes.
Yeah.
Let us start now and handle this issue. Otherwise, it will bring problem between these two tribes. So,
but the funny thing is that the people that were attacked, they weren't the other tribal. They were all the same tribe. It's just that they belong to the Labour Party.
Different. We know now. It's still the same thing. You see, when it starts like this, the other party will support.
Yeah.
Yes. The other tribe will support.
It's bad.
So let us talk to them now. Their emirs, their obas, and everything. They are parting that. They should talk to them. They should stop this mess now. This mess should be stopped.
You should write.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much. And do you know when that situation happened? Come and see the support on X. That this is just a lesson. This is the tip of the iceberg. You need to see the plan we have for you. You cannot come to our state and vote against the choice of the states. When did he get to this? When did it get to this? So no freedom of association, no freedom of expression. So just because certain persons in the state, they say go to your state and go and show your support. Not here, this one, that one. So they're bringing up every form of it's dangerous. It's a dangerous thing, and it's so funny because the Labour Party is not a particular geographical location centered.
It's
party.
even your own person, your own tribal people that came because
so
they belong to another party.
Just because their presidential candidate is from a certain geographical location.
Therefore, you now turn to. That's what I keep saying. See the way they turn them into enemy brothers, so they're already enemies.
Hi. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, it's Obina from Ikotu.
All right, Obina, please go ahead.
People that are boasting that the coalition will not work, I have no belief that he must work because he work and he work against Jonathan and then he will work against this man too because this one itself is even worse than Jonathan. And during the time of Jonathan, in fact, I'm not crying out that I'm hungry in this country. And even where I can eat the water I want there, I can drink any type of water that I want to drink. So I can use petrol as I want there. And then they tell us that they are coming to give us a better life. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm among people that we campaign for them. I vote for them, hoping that my life is going to be transformed and more better than them. And then we find ourselves here, we find ourselves today that even to eat become problem for many homes today in Nigeria. People are still boasting that we not work. We must work by grace of God. According to the law, we will follow the law and then we will work. People that beat my brothers in 2023, I'm among people that they cry out. So for all of them, they will suffer for it. They don't have power more than God. God is the creator of Lagos State. He's the owner of Nigeria. People that even boast, they are also strangers in Lagos, so they are not. Many of them are not indigenous of this Lagos State.
All right, thank you very much. Lagos State is not the only state. We're talking about.
See, we are talking about Nigeria now. We are all Nigerians.
Lagos State is not.
I don't know why they keep saying yes. So
Lagos State is not the area of interest, please.
You can go anywhere now. I travel to the north. I lived here for some time.
I even heard in Kano, one of the northern states, so they did the same thing. So like they were bringing down the banner of the president in one of the northern states, or the APC saying they don't want APC. So it's happening across all the states. It's not necessarily Lagos. Please, you guys should stop making Lagos seem as if Lagos is Nigeria. Lagos is not Nigeria. I beg. Lagos is a state in Nigeria like every other state. It just happens to be that it's a commercial center. So naturally people will migrate here when they have most of the facilities. Not just greener pastures. There's business opportunity and all that. It's not like there are not greener pastures in other states. But they have facilities in this states that other states do not have. It's better for the governors of these states to start developing their states and creating opportunities and advocating for opportunities in other states. So it will not seem as if I don't know. There's this whole thing about
please,
Lagos.
Can I say this for 30 seconds? I think you should invite those people that were campaigning and were victimized. You should bring them on air.
To call them.
Yes, and let them come and tell us their experience.
Evening, Esther. In the same country, removal of subsidy, borrowing money or taxing the people is used for development. But here, your government borrowed to loot, live their luxury lifestyle. They turned the economy to a disaster. They turned the people to beggars and Amalgiri in the midst of plenty. More than 7.2 million private, public, and SMEs shut down because of this government obnoxious policies. Do you know the number of people that lost their jobs in 2 years of the nightmare of this government? Well, as it stands right now, Life is hard and a lot of things are happening. Well, the highest in the world, all sectors in Nigeria compromised in a dead state. It's a shame the worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country, Bulaho from Lagos. Bulaho, I summarized your message, okay, so that we can take all the messages. Good evening, Esther. The IMF is saying the truth about the Nigerian economy. The fact remains that our president is not financially disciplined. The government is making a lot of money from the removal of fuel subsidy, but Tinubu is misusing the money through frivolous necessary spending and travels. That is why we're praying for a person like Peter Obi to become the president of Nigeria. He is financially disciplined and he can control our economy. Lawrence from Ikotu. Well, now they cut off, so if you can't go there, can't they hot money now? Now go they cut off saying they hot money too much.
Government is not about the president. Government is a holistic thing. So this ADC or whosoever is from commission, they're supposed to, they will fill other posts like the reps.
Good evening, VOP. In the absence of rule of law, impunity will be order of the day. Daily Farrow to me, David Hunde, and many brilliant minds like me too foresee that it will be a nightmare if this cash and carry INEC and judiciary allows this government to come into power. Unfortunately, they have forced it down the throat of Nigerians. Thank God we were vindicated. You can see that this government has turned this country to a gangster paradise. Look at the insecurity in the land, economic disaster, highest out of school children in the world. Also, they have compromised all institutions for 2027 gain. The economy, education, health, and all sectors is in a dead state. All they do is to tax and loot. That is why we are in this nightmare. It's a shame the worst of us is really the best of us. Truly, there was a country, Ade from Lagos. Ade and Bulaho, where you guys are you guys in the same room? Good evening, VOP. Araba miscomments him influenced by the ruling party, possibly due to financial incentives. I challenge him to consider Labour Party's presidential ticket with Lamidi Akpokpao as his running mate and Julius Abure as party chairman, and let's see the outcome in 2027. Abure, the court case between Kachuku and the 2023 ADC presidential candidate and the party is understandable. Which 2023 ADC president? Okay, do maybe. All right. It's possible the ruling party is backing Kachuku. Despite this, ADC's lineup of prominent politicians makes it a contender. The 2027 elections are shaping up to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to the developments. The court ruling will be crucial. It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds. But INEC is another demon on the road to 2027, which we arrests its antics. Mr. Ogumbi from Idimo. Mr. Ogumbi, I like you. I like your brain. Let us forget about all this talk about political parties for now, because without reliable referee, 2027 elections will be a selection. Political parties already there with the existing INEC. Let's talk about INEC. Chiedu from Ogun State. If Nigerians prefer money bags and popularity of candidates in their so-called most populated region to good governance, well, good luck to them. That's why they will remain doomed, because that's where we are coming from and find ourselves where we are today. Good evening, Esther and the guest analyst. Let the bitter truth be told. Nigerians have suffered enough under the so-called APC propagandist government spearheaded by Tinubu and his cohorts. All we need now is to ensure that these set of politicians are booted out of the mainstream, no matter whose ox is God. Enough is enough. Nigerians, please wake up, stand firm, support the coalition now to liberate our children yet unborn. Boyson from Afro Media. All right. While I may not be a fan of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, some characters in that coalition behave as if Nigerians owe them the presidency. They better brace up for the battle ahead, Olumba. And please permit me to commend your analyst today. I mean the one on the phone. He was speaking with facts, unlike some who just spew negativity. All right. What's your name? You didn't tell us your name. All right. Great email. Good evening, good evening, Esther. Please tell me, Lawal, that obedience are not just from one region, please. Esther, tell Mr. Lawal that obedience are not from one region, please. This is from Chief Udo. All right. Good evening, Esther Wachko and guest. Ima from Shasha Akonwajo. Politics is coming together of good and bad people. Unlike APC, that are purely bad people. ADC and Peter Ruby all the way. Wow, Esther, where did you get Mr. Great Emo from? Wow, what a man. Please, can we have him every day? And these people like Toby will never call this show again, because what does he want to use to constitute nuisance? The discussion is based on facts and intelligence, and he's from far. And for Obi joining that coalition is a downfall of his political weight, because you cannot team up with evil and be expected to do things differently. Was Obi in any coalition during the last election? Ororo from Ayaba. All right, I'll tell Mr. Great Emo. Mrs. Esther, This one says, Mrs. Esther, I'm not married, I'm single. Miss Esther and Mr. Akundaya, good evening. Thank you for your beautiful program. Please tell Nigeria's custom to go back to the button, not on the highway. They should learn from other countries. All right, thank you. Hi, Esther. Greetings to all. A common problem with Nigerian electorates is that they are lured to mainly think of who to vote out, but not really considering competence of who comes as replacement. Recall when President Jonathan was voted out, President Obasanjo said that although he knew President Buhari wouldn't man well, but he endorsed Buhari as Jonathan just to let him go. Also, VP Atiku's impatience to stay in PDP during OBJ and Jonathan era made him a repeated loser. Again, let's watch the opposition. Greed would not allow them give all their support to Peter Obi or any clean guy in the new coalition. Anyways, I vote resource control by states. Benga Ola from Fadi. I am Momo. Good evening, Esther. You refused to read my message. Moving forward, we are ready for 2027 election. Tinubu must go. I'm a confirmed Yoruba man. We are tired of Tinubu and Momo Ayodele. Thanks. No, I did not refuse to read your message. I'm just reading them. Good evening, Esther, Mr. Ekundai. First of all, this coalition conducts a parallel primary. Atiku will come first, Obi second, then Amici will finish third. Reason being that Atiku will have the delegates, while Obi will have the electorates. APC will do all their best to scatter the coalition, but the forces behind the coalition can withstand them. By 2026, there's going to be a massive defection in the north from APC to ADC, and that's why I have the feeling that Atiku will get that ticket. Casey from Ijesha. Good evening, Esther, Mr. Laba. Esther, you asked a question about the people in the coalition. You said many of them have questionable character. If I'm asking you in your own field, are you all saints? No one in this country that will claim that he or she is a saint. Among the coalition members, we must get one person that will lead this country and do better than this present government. Chikezi from Ago. Alright, good evening. This president is funny. Does he think he can infiltrate the whole Nigerian political party like Lagos, allegedly? And we will be looking. If not for the politicking of rubbish agreement of the north and south, things will be good. Let him continue and see if he's bigger than God. He's just causing katakata everywhere. No be juju be that. Controversial from Udogunyo. Wow, Esther, where did you get Mr. Great email from? Okay. Thank you very much. I think you're the same person repeating your message. Good evening, VOP. Without electoral reforms, 580 coalition cannot win Tinubu in ABC. Nigeria is still to your tent, O Israel. Chinedu from Ushodi. As an obedient, anybody saying that Obi should second Atiku is on his own. Atiku is a northerner. They just finished 8 years. Now is the turn of the southerners to produce a president. Atiku is a power-drunk person who has never respected the unwritten rules of power sharing between the north and the south. With the southerners will not see their turn to a northerner. Anything less than Obi will mean bad should continue till 2031. Don Joe from Ijesha. Don Joe, not everyone is also on your side. You're not speaking for the entire south. Some people believe that anyhow it goes, even if it's Atiku, they will show support. Good evening, Esther and the guest. IK from Ikoto. Esther, apart from Atiku, is there any other person in the ADC who commands the kind of pull Obi has that can pair with Obi? IK from Ikoto. Esther, good evening. Please, why is the Southeast always used to make other regions get the coveted seat of the president? IK from Ikoto. IK, I don't know. Good evening, the uncle. I'm engineer Ayinde Morov, contributing from Orin Shumi Bare Shasha. It appears as if your guest, Mr. Lawal, is not saying what you are saying. The brain behind ADC idea and people they campaign to, it is Atiku. You can see how he went to Aregbesola and canvassed him into joining the ADC. Atiku even already had his persons, Aregbesola and David Mark, as the two most important members of the ADC interim executives as chairman and secretary. Who is Obi's own man amongst the two? It's obvious that the whole thing about the ADC is for Atiku and the northerners desperate to have power gotten back to the north. And one can see that the northern bigwigs are the populace in the ADC they campaign readily. It's so clear that Atiku and the North are just romancing, invited and seduced Obi into the campaign to the ADC to use his electoral fortune and values for Atiku and the North. I foresee Atiku taking the party's tickets, Obi used and dumped eventually. If care is not taken, Obi might end up being hurt and rendered disappointed. Then 2023, he might not have any party in time to contest by 2027 after having been used. God spares us all. Engineer Ayinde Moruf. Interesting. Atiku confidently exposed the current president's certificate and drop scandal. If truly there is anything against Atiku and Obi, APC should go to court instead of demarketing this hope of the masses. APC is jittery. Baby T Seju. Nigerians are wiser. Sarafadin from Ajao. What is Baby T Seju? Baby T Seju.
You don't pronounce it well.
Baby T Seju or Seju or
Baby T Seju. Maybe spell it.
Good evening, VOP crew. We concentrate so much with the presidency, we don't consider the gubernatorial House of Representatives and Senators. If the coalition does not have commensurate number of persons in the House, the president would hardly fly his ideas or faces the possibility of being voted or facing outright removal from power, considering what Buhari faced during his first 4 years as president in Nigeria. Ken from Ikorodu. Good evening, Esther, Mr. Lawal. I think Peter Obi and others that formed that coalition should not bother to waste their hard-earned money. They cannot unseat President Tinubu come 2027. Mr. Adam from Ejugu Agbede. Okay. Agbede. All right. Mary from Okwafa. The biggest problem is the judiciary and INEC. If only a vote to be allowed to count without being tampered too much of 2027, we're still in 2025. APC do the work of 2025. Good evening, Esther, your analyst. I want Obi and Atiku to work together, but Obi should be the president because he has no negative baggage. Other him as Atiku. Let Atiku be a statesman to sponsor Obi. If he has a progressive, intelligent child, Atiku may present him as VOP. To Obi. Atiku himself should contest for Senate or to be Senate president. While Amici contest for House. Wow. After becoming a vice president, you want him to contest for Senate? No way. He can't do that. This person says, what's your name? This is not afternoon. This is good evening. Educate your listener. Nigeria does not start and end in Southeast. Believing anybody they voted for has won is a great mistake. Which way Southeast enter this one now, guy? The obedience are not afraid. We're ready. Obi have more supporters than Atiku, but in the ADC, it's more of the northerners. In the primary election, no northern man. We vote the south. All right, Mr. Lawal Kondaya, can you give us your final thoughts? Let me take this. Esther, good evening. I remember Jim Carter assisting to bring Obasanjo to power. I also remember the Democrats, Barack Obama, changing Nigerian government through Tinubu and Buhari. Now it's Trump to decide who's your next president, and we can recall how Buhari and Tinubu sponsored Kamala Harris. American would decide. Izira from Ijesha. Esther, over 90 million Nigeria House Bank verification number. We can take this voting online to outsmart the lout. All right, go ahead.
So I'm baffled when some people say anytime they are talking, they will then the next thing they will mention the West. They will mention as if the West are the people voting. When they go to your area, you collect noodles and then you collect cash to vote for them. Is that West? Something is wrong with us here now. We should begin to re-educate ourselves.
Okay.
We should begin to re-educate ourselves that this thing is about us.
Okay.
So don't let the politicians use all these gimmicks to confuse us and derail us. No, this is about us. Don't collect anything from anybody. Vote for your man of choice.
Okay.
Or your woman of choice, as the case may be.
Okay.
Go. Be objective. That's all. And they will get it right.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lawal Ekundire. I think I saw some text messages. Yes, this is it. Good evening to you, my gender, right? I want to just let it not seem as if we didn't even take any SMS. Oh, you people stop calling now. Let me take SMS. All right. Okay. Good evening to you, my gender, and we're proud of you, Esther, and you're doing a great job, girl. But we truly need Sir Obi as president. We love you, Sir Obi. All right, you didn't tell us your name. Good evening, Esther and your analyst. I want Obi and Atiku to work together, but Obi should be the president because he has no negative baggage. I think I read this on WhatsApp. Wahab from Ajangbadi, please let Obi be vice to Atiku. If not, Nigeria go nowhere. Kalas. Interesting. Why are you busy, my call? I don't like it. We're here to help each other. Please speak up. I'm sorry, I don't see the names of the calls, but I'm reading your message and you didn't put your name. Okay. This is happy birthday, Warikin taking. Again, I don't understand this message. Esther, when government reneged from social security, clamping on the youth rights, okay, Kayamata promised heaven on earth. What are we seeing? We're seeing caliber autocracy program against youth. Political analysts. I saw a UK citizen telling Cameron what to say in United Nations meeting about Brexit in 2011. This is from Kobokoman. All right, Kobokoman, thank you for your message. Good evening, Esther and all the guests. Tinubu and the APC hold empty carton for Nigeria. Peter Obi is our mandate. For coalition, if Atiku can hold position of elder statesman and have recognition, every government and Peter Obi, the flag bearer and El Rufai's running mate, or many other credible northerners, surely the coalition party must pull off the Lucifer and tyrant government from our dear country. Good evening, Esther. Barrister Darlington. Okay, there's no Barrister Darlington here. All right, we need to wrap up the conversation today. Thank you for some of you who sent your messages and the calls. We sincerely do appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to wrap up right about now. I'll definitely be seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We intend to have more engaging, interesting conversations that will give us that insight into what is going on in the polity. We'll also educate ourselves. My name is Esther Machiko. Follow me on YouTube at Estiq Media, ESTIQMEDIA. Esther Unwaz on Instagram, Esther Machiko on Facebook, and of course VOP903 across our social media platforms. Mr. Lawal Ekundaya on Facebook. Do have yourself an amazing evening. Bye for now.